What's going on? Welcome back to another video. Today we are doing the Monday Night Raw review. Um, and if you guys are wondering why I'm doing this video so early in the day, is because I'm planning to go on vacation for my birthday, which includes a trip to Monday Night Raw. Also, if you hear noises outside there in the video, it's because my neighbor is getting construction done on their house. So, if you hear noise in the background during the video, sorry, I don't have the best sound system yet. But with that being said, yeah, I'm recording this video a little earlier on Tuesday morning because I have a lot to do to pack and get ready for my 1 week vacation. So, which is to the U.S. Um, but yeah. So Raw started with Cody Rhodes arriving to the arena, and Brock Lesnar comes in. He continues to tell Cody, "You want to fight? You want to fight?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You know the match is already made official, Brock." This dude pushes Cody across the table, takes his arm, and I think it's like a little trash thing or metal thing, hits it across Cody's arm, and Cody's selling. You guys may know by now, it's over the top, which I think is just the perfect way to do it. And basically, Raw started with the indication Brock wants to injure Cody. He does not want to face him in Night of Champions. He just wants to torture Cody. That's Brock's game as a heel. It's always been his game as a heel. If you're gonna go to a match with Brock and you beat him, Brock ain't gonna forget. That's for sure. Um, After that, we had we had Paul Heyman start the show, and it was pretty basic, to be honest with you. Paul Heyman was just talking about the match that we already know that's happening in Night of Champions. The main thing is that Sammy and KO came out, and Sammy and KO were talking about the match and stuff, talking about Roman Reigns being a cancer again to the business or whatever. Don't take that quote seriously. But Sammy and KO were quickly interrupted by Imperium, who, as you guys may know, this was going to be a six-man tag. KO and Sammy had to find a partner to face all of Imperium. And would you know it, WWE, instead of just leaving it to be a surprise, even though it was going to be a disappointing surprise, nonetheless, it would have been a surprise. But Matt Riddle, yeah, the guy that teamed with KO and Sammy already at Backlash. Yeah, Matt Riddle came in. And I'm assuming this means we're going to get down the road Matt Riddle versus Gunther, and I got to say that match is good. I got to say that match would be good in a way. I just want to say that now. Matt Riddle's promo work and person and stuff, it's kind of annoying, but in the wrestling ring, Riddle versus Gunther is a banger. I don't hate Matt Riddle. I think his wrestling style is very, very good. It's just that, I got that annoying vibe from him when he's on the promos and backstage interviews and stuff. But yeah, Matt Riddle saved KO and Sammy from Imperium. And then we got Bronson Reed versus Ricochet, which I thought was a random banger thrown in there. And Bronson Reed, of course, won. Ricochet got in some offense, but the Aussie ended up winning the match, which we all expected. Bronson Reed's build continues. Next up, we got Apollo Crews setting up his match with Dom. But the main part I got from that backstage interview was Rhea Ripley and Natalya is all set for Night of Champions, and I was just trying to crack jokes about Natalya being Rhea's next opponent, but the more I think about it, the more I don't mind it necessarily. I think Natalya, she's been around the business for years. I think, this match isn't going to last long, not by any means. But, there's so many matches on the card. It's not like this one's sticks out like a sore thumb. But, yeah, Natalya will face Rhea Ripley at Night of Champions. I'm hoping for bigger opponents for Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. Next up, we had another part of the Seth interview, and this one was talking more specifically about Roman Reigns, which I thought they were just going to talk about it last week, but they wanted part two of the interview because Seth Rollins is filming the next Captain America movie, which, once again, I just want to say I'm so happy for Seth Rollins because I'm a big Marvel fan myself, so I can't wait for that. But Seth Rollins says he loves Roman Reigns and doesn't like him. The part that he loves is that Seth obviously was with Roman in the Shield. The part he doesn't like is what Roman has turned into. Like, he acts like he's a god. He acts like that, no one's on his level. And this is not necessarily a tease for Roman versus Seth down the road. I think it will happen again when Roman is still like in the tribal chief gimmick. But I think Seth just says, you know, I think this is an indication that Seth's gotta win. And I know like AJ Styles is gonna have his own thing, but AJ Styles didn't. AJ they could have easily had a sit down interview with both guys. You know what I mean? This sit down interview really told me that there could only be one result from the match, and that is Seth Rollins winning. Um, Next up we had Candice versus Zoe Stark. I liked this match. Not the Nikki Cross element. I'm not a huge fan of. I hope maybe WWE has something up the. I think the Way is gonna get involved. That's how I see it happening. Like Indy Hartwell is gonna get involved in getting rid of Nikki Cross. But Zoe Stark versus Candice was all right. Zoe Stark won, and like I said, there looks like they're really building up Zoe Stark to be a star on Raw, which I'm all for. You guys know I watch some NXT. You guys know that I know a lot about Zoe Stark, and I don't do NXT cover. I don't cover NXT on this channel. Maybe I will one day. I don't know. But Zoe Stark beat Candice. I don't know what the Nikki Cross element is gonna be. Next up, we had this. You guys may know the meme. Get a Life Kid, Brock Lesnar. Mustafa Ali was giving an interview about what it means to him to face Gunther, and Brock Lesnar's like, "Get a life, kid." The disrespect to Mustafa Ali. This was the most popular thing to come out of Raw, believe it or not. But yeah, Brock Lesnar came out. He was ready to kick some ass. And Cody Rhodes came out, sling and all. Cody Rhodes wanted to kick some ass. And Brock Lesnar, he was laughing. He's like, "You get in the ring with me, I'm going to break your arm." And that's exactly what Brock ended up doing. He got Cody Rhodes on the ground, that signature Kimura lock, that signature, he's pulling the arm. And Cody Rhodes is even more in pain than the last time. Like I said, a lot of people don't like the build necessarily to this match. I think it's really a good build. I don't know why people are thinking it's a bad build. I know people are very strict about what they want Cody to be in terms of rivalry these days. But I don't understand how some people think that this is a bad build. I think Brock's had a lot of good builds in his career. Obviously, his ones with Roman have been utter bad. But this one's been pretty good. I mean, we knew we were going to get a rematch. As soon as Cody beat Brock, I knew that rematch was coming. Do you really think we weren't going to get a rematch after Cody beat Brock? And you know what I mean? So, yeah, the people who don't like this, I don't agree with you. I think it's been a great build so far. Next up, we had Alpha Academy versus Viking Raiders. Unique matchup, to say the least. Two guys drafted to Raw. And Maxine fits in really good with the Judgment Day, or not Judgment Day, fits in well with the Alpha Academy. I think she's going to kill it in a Raw. Chad Gable won with a very unique pin. And it looks like Chad Gable's on the same page with Maxine Dupree. I know that's not going to be that way because I think Maximum Male Models are going to come back into the fold. But this was a really good moment to see Chad Gable get a pin. Hopefully he's in the Money in the Bank qualifying matches. Next up, Finn versus Shinsuke Nakamura. The match of the night. The match that we were all looking forward to most out of tonight. And Finn Balor won. It was a great match overall. You knew Damian Priest was going to be there because, Shinsuke poked the bear in the first place. But it was a great match. Shinsuke Nakamura had to get rid of Damian Priest. He kept trying to get his nose involved. And Finn Balor finally took advantage to pin Shinsuke Nakamura. Great match. Really loved it. Did it live up to the hype? Of course it did. Shinsuke versus Finn is a no failure matchup. And You could tell that it was given a lot of time, and it wasn't really going to be the main event over Imperium. So I liked what we got. Finn pinning Shin, good match. Next up, we had Raquel versus Sonya Deville, no, versus Chelsea, and Raquel won, but Chelsea and Sonya attacked afterwards, and Shotzi, who got drafted to SmackDown, yeah, I had to literally look up to see if Shotzi got drafted to Raw. No, she got drafted to SmackDown. She came in and saved Raquel, and as you may expect, Shotzi is going to team with Raquel, and the Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Team title match has all of its competitors. I don't mind it necessarily. I think a lot. I think this also speaks volumes to Raw not having the best roster at the moment. And it speaks volumes that SmackDown got all the tier A women. I would have actually liked for it to be a Tegan Knox or something. Like, I know that, WWE is trying to keep a storyline with who Raquel's been with, but someone like Tegan Knox would have been a very interesting move that, Raquel's a babyface right now. So it doesn't really matter who you team her up with because Raquel's is like this very shiny babyface. But Shanti is the partner, and I don't think they're going to win, but it's interesting because I'll be seeing it in person. Next up is the contract sign between Becky and Trish, and Becky had to come out with the drip. The thing I didn't like was the hand sunglasses. I hope she never decides to wear that in her drip robe again. But Becky's looking good and Trish is looking good. That's not a surprise to anybody on the human face of the earth. But yeah, I really like this segment. The crowd by hour 3 was already ready to go to bed. They were ready to take their nightly pills and go to bed. But they weren't in. To me, I was into it. I was actually listening to the promo, and it was actually good stuff between Becky. Becky called Trish a bitch. Woof woof. You guys may know that as a reference to when Trish was saying woof woof months ago. So good callback. Always love callbacks. But the build to this match has been good. I mean, you weren't expecting Becky and Trish to fail a build, would you? Contract signings, some of them are good, some of them are just utter cringe. You just want to move on from them, but this one wasn't bad. Next up was Dom versus Apollo Crews. I wasn't expecting Apollo Crews to win, though. Apollo Crews, they're giving him some offense. Rhea, pushed Apollo into the barricade and during the match without the ref looking, and you knew that was it. Dom won. Dom seems like WWE are feeding some of these NXT guys to Dom. Whatever, but Dom ended up winning. And next up, we had the last part of the Seth Rollins interview, which is already a primetime interview. And Seth talked about, like, what it's going to mean to him. Like, at the beginning, Seth Rollins always wanted to do wrestling as a kid. And he just couldn't imagine that it would be this good of a career. This whole part right here is just so damn good. It's just the icing on the cake of all the build. And it just puts the icing on the cake on why Seth Rollins should beat AJ Styles, should be World Heavyweight Champion, and why Seth Rollins is overdue for an absolute major championship in the WWE. That's all I gotta say. Next up, WWE officially announced that Money in the Bank qualifying matches will begin next Monday, so I'll be in person to see some qualifying matches, which is always good. People think it's early, but Money in the Bank is the first day of July. It's a full month build, and Money in the Bank is one of the bigger PLEs. It's not an extremely early build. I think people are just caught off guard that a paper PLE like Money in the Bank is already coming up. And just wanted to drop a picture of my 2 winners, Io Sky, LA Knight. Hopefully they win. Let's go. Io, win it for Dakota Kai. LA Knight, just in general, he should win Money in the Bank. This dude is continuing to get bigger crowd reactions. Money in the Bank is all about building the next star. These are 2 stars. Next up, Sammy, KO, and Riddle did win the main event over Imperium. I had no pictures from there because, I was watching the match and forgot to take a screenshot. But yeah, Sammy, KO, and Riddle won a pretty good match against Imperium. Vinci got pinned out of all of Imperium. But the ending is what we want to talk about. Cody Rhodes, we needed some help. And in comes the Mr. Creative himself, Triple H, who advises that Cody don't fight Brock Lesnar, which is weird, but Triple H had that two-year rivalry with Brock Lesnar. or 2 different rivalries with Brock Lesnar. And Cody Rhodes doesn't want to hear it. Cody Rhodes is staying true to his gut. He wants to fight. And Triple H continues to be adamant. And Cody Rhodes is like, Triple H, you had a broken arm and you wanted to fight through it. You wanted to get at Brock. And, that kind of sounds Triple H. Triple H is kind of like in his mind. He's like, oh, yeah, Cody kind of got me here. But, Cody Rhodes says, I'm going to go to United Champions and I'm going to fight Brock Lesnar. Show goes off the air. Triple H is a little disappointed. He's also disappointed that Cody Rhodes sledgehammered his throne as well. But whatever. But this was a really good ending. People were expecting Randy Orton. I have no words. But yeah, this was a really good ending to Monday Night Raw. Overall, a good show. I would say there's a lot of parts that really didn't hook me. But overall, it was an alright episode. I think next week's is going to be better easily. I think Money in the Bank qualifying matches, tag team title match. Raw's shaping up to be better next week than this week. With that being said, that's the video. Hope you all enjoy, and I'll see you guys in